Hey, welcome back everyone. In the last video, we built the game resource feature for the admins. So this is admin, and let's go here, and we can see that we have now the games. And if you edit it, we can add a new player to the game. We also have the details about the game. And now in this episode, what we want to do is basically show these games on the guest page, alongside the announcements, just like announcements actually, and maybe have a link here where the players can go in and sign up for the game. So let's get started. This is going to be the exact same as we built the announcements feature. uh, so let's kind of go ahead. Actually, we don't need this announcements here. So let's go ahead and first make a live wire page, just like guest announcements. All right, so for this we need php RSS and make live wire, and the name is going to be guest game list. I do not want to make this an inline component. Do you want to create a test file? We'll just create a test file for now, and we can write it later. All right, so now we have our guest game list, and this is the view. And if you remember previously, we do need to add this layout. So let's go ahead and add the layout. And now we also need a public property of this is going to be a collection of Illuminate database eloquent, and this is going to be games. And under the mount function, what we are going to do is we're going to do this games equal to games. I'm pretty sure we do not have the active, but let's go to our games model. Yeah, we can simply do it with a start date, where date start at, and this is going to be greater than equal to, well, actually what to end at is less than equal to carbon now. All right, then we need to, we can come here, because this is a public property, it should be available directly on this view. So let's go to this view here, and we can borrow some of the boilerplate from the guest announcements page. We can simply, actually we can copy the entire thing and then just tweak it, and we can change the layout as we feel fit. So let's copy and paste this, and now this is going to be games. We can call it upcoming games. And here it's going to be games. This is games, this is game, and now we can just update all the occurrences. We can just let it be. All right, so first things first, the game doesn't have a title though, but the game has description, so we can keep this as it is, but we probably want to add a title as well to the game. The reason for that is we can say something like Wednesday pick up soccer, or Sunday pick up soccer, or something like that, of that sorts, which can give you a much bigger picture of what when the game is, and then you can provide more details. So how about we do this? So let's go back into our database migrations. I know I just add a new column, but since we're still early in the stages, we can just add it and run the migrations again. So now we have the title. What we can do is now we need to also update the factories. It's a game factory. We need a title. Sentence is good. I don't think we need to make any changes yet. So now we do want to add it to the filament resources, so we'll come back here, game resource, and we want to go to the table, and we can copy this, say title, and let's make this searchable too for the admins, just because and then we're gonna come to schema, and this is going to be text input, and we are going to say this is required, and we can do max length of 255. All right, now let's see. Oh, we want to update the info list too, so we are going to say yep, title, this is good. All right, so all we want to do is now run php artisan migrate rollback, and then php artisan migrate and artisan db seed game seeder. All right, now okay, we do have a title. So moving on, we will update our layout. Go to livewire, guest game list. We have the title, we have the description, we should have a start date and an end date. Now we can make it this flex items center, justify between, and we'll always know that we have the start and end date for the game, so we can remove this if you can keep it if you want, but that's fine. Well, actually I think this needs to come out of this div into a separate div. We'll just add it here, and we'll make this and this. All right, so this is going to be start at, and this is going to be end at. And now let's just go ahead and look what it gives us. Oh, before that, we do want to add this to the layouts page. We want to link it, so we'll just link it besides the announcements here. We'll go ahead and write that, and we'll say games, or maybe upcoming games. Yep, this should be upcoming games. And remember, we need to add this route as well. This is for the mobile view. All right, so now let's go to our web.php, and just like announcements, we want to do a games, and this is going to be guest.games, and this is going to be guest game list. Awesome. So now that we have everything, let's just copy this, come back here. This is going to be guest.games, and let's just update this one too, and we should be good. Let's refresh and see what happens. Okay, am I running? Let's just go here, run the dev script. Oops. Let's just clear cache. Oh, looks like we are not seeing the links for some reason. We are only seeing the announcements page. Is this not the correct? Let's come here. Actually, we can come to the and do a die and dump here and try to visit that manually. Games. Do get games. And I just remembered that we need to flip this. Okay, so now we are getting the games. Ooh. And how about if we just remove that? Format on string. Oh, this is simple. We gotta go to the model and say protected cast, and we'll say start at is date time and so is end at. What else? We can do the same for created at and updated at, created at, updated at. Hopefully that's all says. Okay, it did. We need to add the date. Let's come back here, and we don't want to format it like this. We also need the HI. Well, technically we don't need the seconds because it's self-explanatory, but how about if we add that? Awesome. That doesn't sound good. The time is the same thing as end at. I thought we... Okay, so let's go ahead and check why both our start and end at is just the same time. That is in the factory, and I thought we did add hours. Is this because this is mutable? Well, we can simply do this, right? Instead of this, we can just do, we can replace this with this. Carbon now add hours, and technically now we shouldn't need this variable here at all, so we can just say this. Yep. All right, so let's just go ahead and truncate the tables. We want the game player truncated, and let's just also do players truncate, disable. All right, so let's run this. We have games, we have players, and we have game player. Awesome. Now let's check what we want to check the start and end date. All right, so looks like it did. It did add an hour, so that's fine. Refresh the page. There we go. Awesome. So essentially we need some sort of link here to kind of let the players know to register. But before we do that, we want to let the players have their own dashboard, just like the admins do. They'll definitely have less options, but we essentially want them to register for the game and also, like, track their announcements or some sort of dashboard page where they can keep track of what's going on in the club. So how about we just commit this first. And now we should be ready to start with the player panel. So now to make a different panel, we want to run PHP Artisan make filament panel. It's going to ask for the ID, and we are going to say it's player, and it says we have attempted to register panel provider in the bootstrap providers file. If you get an error trying to access this, usually never fails, but if it fails, first thing you want to check is going to the bootstrap and providers, and here you should see the name of your new provider. Now let's go into this, and you can already see that it has added the player/player. So this panel will be available at /player, and now you can see everything apart from what we had in the admin panel provider. Everything looks the same, just like admin panel. So now let's just go into /player, no, player. Okay, we can access this, and we can only allow active players to access this by going into the user model, and then if you remember, we have the can access panel. So here what we can do is panel, I think it's panel ID equal to, and then you can name whatever admin, and then you can do your custom logic. Here we're just going to return true for now, and we can fix this later on. So now when the player comes in, I want them to see the game dashboard, or maybe we can put it on the dashboard itself as a widget, the upcoming games, and from here they would probably be able to sign up for the game, and as well as see who else signed up for the game, right? But they shouldn't be able to tweak anybody else's registration. So how do we want to do this? Let's see. I think it'll be better if it's there on the dashboard, because it's the first thing they see, and they can act on it. So I'm going to quickly disable both these widgets. To do that, let's come to the panel provider, and we'll remove these. Awesome. Now we want to add our own widget. So PHP Artisan make filament widget, and I'm thinking of making this as a, let's see, we can go to the docs here real quick. There are different types of widgets. There's a table widget, there's a chart widget, a stats overview widget. I think for us it makes sense to have a table widget. Yep, just like this, table widget. They also have a custom widget. Get stats. Oh yeah, I think we can just do the table widget for now. Just copy that. Oh, we can just do this. This is going to be game list widget, widget panel, yes. We want to create the player. We would like to create the widget in a this widget in a resource. No. What is the model? The model is app models and then game. I've realized that sometimes it doesn't, the model that you have doesn't show up here. I think that's because it hasn't run the PHP Artisan Filament upgrade, but that's fine. We know that there is a game model, so we can just say that. Should the table columns be generated from the current database column? Yes, we'll do that, and then we'll tweak it as we see fit. Now, to make it show, oh, actually, let's go to the dashboard and see what happens. There it is. We see that table. Now we want to make this a full size. Let's go to the player, and we have a widget here. If I remember correctly, I think this is width. Maybe not anymore. Let's see. Custom filtering widget data, disabling widgets, creating a widget. This is the sort. Is it maybe something to do column span? Yes, and let's make it full and see what happens. There we go. All right, now we do not want the host ID here, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and delete that. We do not want this data. There we go. And we do not want the latitude and longitude as well, because we're trying to be as minimalistic as possible on this page. All right. Now let's see. We have this, and essentially now we want to show well let's just link this. Let's just try and link this to the, but this is going to take them to the if we link the edit button to the player resource, it's going to take them to the admin player resource, which we do not want. Those two are separate resources. So one thing that we can do is we can have our own action. Let's say view action, make this is still, I think, schema, and we can keep this for now as it is, and let's just do text entry, make title for now. We also need an action here. Well, probably we don't need an action here, we just want to view it. Let's refresh and see what happens. Okay, so we do get the view game. That's cool. Now we want to probably show a couple more, so let's just do text entry start at, and then repeat that for the end at, and this is going to be a date time. This is also going to be a date time, and now here we need something on the sorts of a repeater. So we do have a repeater in the info list. Let's go here, repeatable entry, and we'll just borrow this, put that there, import, and this is going to be the players. This is going to be a relationship. Does it not take relationship, does it? I thought it did. Maybe it should. I don't know. Let's test it out. So in the players, we know his full name, so let's just try and demo that for now. Refresh the page, click on view. Oh, there we go, we do see it. Awesome. So here's a list of all the players that have signed up. I know this doesn't look good, but that's not the intention that we are coming with. We are simply keeping it as simple as possible, and then you just add a label, say player, and here we can call this label signed up players. We can also do columns empty, it's 2, did not take it, oops. I thought this should have put them into 2 different columns, but maybe not. Grid layout, there we go. Oh, I think we need to use grid for this one. And let's try it out now. There we go. So now we have it in a grid. What we can do here is do column span full for this. Maybe this is grid 2, or maybe it's, yeah, action doesn't have a, so we probably want to do a section here, make game details, and then we do components, and we put these in here, and we say columns 2, or maybe we do MD2. I'm not sure if we want to do the grid here as well, but let's see if it works. Well, it does, yep. So we're good. We have that, we have the signed up players, and things are looking good. But then we also want a button for the player who signed in to say, I want to sign up for this game. Now, how do we do that? Now we can do it with an action button. So we say action make sign up, and this is going to take an action, and there's going to be a function with the record, and this is going to give us the game. And let's just DD and see what happens. And we get the game, right? So from here onwards, all we do is $game. We actually need to find the player. So the current signed up player actually. So and before that, you need to remember that having an account doesn't necessarily mean that you can sign up for the games. You need to be in the players table. So essentially you need to be signed up as a player, and this is something that the admin can do, because not everybody may be allowed to directly play for the game. Sometimes it's a closed game that you want to make sure that only certain people know about it. And we are going to say this is visible if player where we want to check their email, probably the signed up email that they did. There we go. So we have an email, and we can say opt user email. We can also do this via the custom permissions in a policy. That's one way, but we can just keep it, try to keep it as simple, and say exists. If the player email, currently authenticated user email, exists in the players table, then we make this visible. And the next thing that we want to do here is essentially link it, right? So we are going to say game associate, and before this we need a player here, so we say player equals player where email, essentially the same thing that we did above, but we, in this situation, we want the actual user object, auth user email first or fail, and we say player. And after this we need some sort of notification. We can do filament notifications make. Remember, with the notifications you need to always call this send method, otherwise it's not going to show anything. So this is going to be a success, this is, and you can say and we can call the body let's just give it a try. Now there's also one thing that to remember. Yeah, see, because currently my user's email address doesn't exist in this players, I do not see the sign up button, right? So essentially what we can do is when a player signs up, we can create their entry in the players table. That's one way. Or we can send a list to the admin who are pending, and then they can accept or reject it, but that seems too harsh for now at least. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a different approach. What we are going to do is say we are going to let them register as a player and then sign up for the game. So how about we add a action button here up top and say register as a player, and this can be like a paid thing after all. And so for this, what we need to do is we come here, the pages, we need to override the dashboard, right? So essentially what we can do is here come back to, there should be a dashboard, advanced maybe, should be somewhere, panel configuration, I'm sure it should be in here. Do we see a dashboard, registering assets, disabling broadcast, SPA mode, lifecycle hooks? No, let's just do a search. If I can spell correct, customizing the dashboard, there it is. Oh, it's under the widget itself, come on, that was too simple. All right, so this should be in the pages. So what we can do is come back to our player resource and we can add a pages directory. We can create a new class, player dashboard, add it, and this should extend the filament pages dashboard. And let's try and see what happens. Shouldn't change. Okay, it does say route filament player pages player dashboard just not defined. Actually, we don't even need to override. What was I thinking? So let's just delete this, come back here, and we'll we'll go to the table here, and if you see up top there is a header action, and we can just simply call our action here, make, and say something is register as a player, and this is going to be, oops, no, we don't need the URL. Oh, why is this? Okay, so here's the action, and we need a schema. This is going to take an array of data that the user fills out with the form, and we'll see how we can change. For now, let's just do dd data. Well, I'm sure we can reuse the players. I'm sorry, the player schema that they had, that the admin resource has, but let's just give it a try. I'm sure we have to override it, because sometimes what can happen is that we are giving the admins a little bit too much functionality, so it can be difficult to kind of maintain it in the two different sides. But also it's required, because admins will have very less permissions check, because everything's allowed for admins, and you may not want to do that for the players. For now, what we can do is just keep it as simple and say text input make, and we need the first name. Actually, we can come back to the player schemas, player form, copy this, put that out, come back here and paste that in. And refresh. All right, and also we want to only show this if the player is not registered as a player. So visible function, and we'll say player where email is auth user email doesn't exist. So if the player doesn't exist, then yeah, we show the link. If not, we don't want to show them again. They don't have to register as a player again. So we'll just click this, and you can see it's already in there. Maybe we want to put them in the section player. This is going to be MD2, and this needs components. That's what we have, and then we'll just move everything here into this. I am pretty sure that if we reuse the players schemas, it's still going to be same. The only reason I'm not doing it right now is because I want to make sure that if, let's say for example, if we write some sort of logic here, right? So let's say visible function, and maybe call like if auth user has role or something. We never want to do this. You always want to do it through the policy so that it affects everywhere, and that's the reason why we have the Filament team has made these schemas into its own separate folder. That's the whole reason. But I'm pretty sure let's just carry on with this and see how we can affect it. So let's refresh this again, click on the register, and we have this. That's perfect. Let's see. And let's say I play as a goalkeeper and a right back, and then submit, and you can see that we have our data, and that's all we gotta do. Now we gotta store it. So we'll say player, just to try player equals, we actually don't need player, say update or create. This is going to be email, but we also need the other sets, and we can actually use data dot dot dot. Can we not use spread operator here, or is it dot 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 in data? There we go. Catch exceptions. And you can do some sort of notification here. Danger, remember to send it. Something went wrong, that's fine, get message. Awesome. And if everything does go good, we want to show them a notification of success and say successfully registered as a player. You are a player. You can now sign up for games. I think this is good enough for now. So let's just refresh and try to register. So this is going to be the same thing. A goalkeeper and right back, submit. Unknown parameter, first name. Maybe it does want to add the entire thing. First name, last name, the email, contact number, positions. So first name, and this is going to be last name. I did name them correctly, so that's cool. We need email, and then we need the contact number. This is number. This is going to be positions. Did I do the full name? Yes, it's a virtual generated column, so we don't need the full name. That's fine. Let's try it now again. Register. Fill this out. There we go. Now, as you can see, as soon as we were successfully registered, you can see the sign up button now. There's another thing that we need to make sure that if this player has already registered for a game, we do not want to show them the sign up button. So actually, let's just implement that. And this should be under here. Player exists. And actually we can just put this not as a closure function but proper function, just so that it's more readable. And we can say, we can inject the game return exists and $game players. Let's see, how can we do this? Can we tack on I think we can. So let's just do this. Doesn't exist. Player where so we want to essentially check if the game has a player ID. So game players where column player ID as now we want to actually get the player. So How can we do that? Well, we know that we can do this. Let's just take it out and say first avail if player and this is going to be player ID. I am not so sure about that logic, but let's just see what happens. All right, so call to undefined method associate. Oh, I think it's attach, is it? I think it's attach ish. You know what? Let's go back. Let's take a step back here. If we go to forms, no, we want to go to the relationship managers. I think I can find them here in the managing relationships. And if I remember correctly, Filament has something called associate action. There it is. There it is. So if this is, but this is it for a relationship manager, how can we do that for this? Let's just try it, I guess. Was it associate? I always forget, I'm sorry. Let's go back. Is the associate action. So associate action make player all right, because now we don't have. Okay, so how about we override the schema here and say, well, actually we don't need to. We need to override the action. Look at the game. Wasn't that what we were doing though? Let's just go into here and see what action do they do. Or better yet, let's go to the Laravel documentation. Let's see many to many. There it is. I know there's somewhere here where they do attach and detach. There it is. Oh, that's why. Come on. Okay, so the reason why it was throwing an error was because we were trying to call it before we call the players for relationship. There it is. So now let's go back to the dashboard, refresh, hit on sign up. All right, and if you see now, the sign up button disappears from this. And just to make sure, there it is, the new player. Yeah, so I think we also need a button to cancel out of the game. So now we can do the same thing, repeat it, and we can say, what can we call it? Sign up, sign out. No, let's just call it we'll just make it a label first, and we can rename the action later. We can call it can't make it. And we can just call it sign out for now. That's fine. I mean, this definitely is not a correct verbiage, but that's fine. This is visible if the player exists and player has signed up for the game, where player ID exists in the pivot table, and we got it to attach and detach player, and you have been successfully chickened out. No, signed out of the game. Let's just not give it a body. We should be good. Is this logic? Yeah, I think this is correct. Yep. We can make it a danger. No, color is danger, and then we can also do requires confirmation. Yep. So now if I click this, it asks me, are you sure you would like to do this? Confirm. There we go. You have been successfully signed up. Sign up again. You have successfully signed up. One more time. Can make it. Are you sure you would like to do this? Yes. You haven't successfully signed out of the game. Awesome. This is all we have to do in this video. In the next video, what I would like to do is basically provide the players with more information. We want to possibly also do like a announcements page for the players here. We probably don't need the widget, so we can do something like, let's go to providers, filament, player. If I remember this correctly, I think it's called top navigation. Oops. Top navigation. There we go. So now it's like a better dashboard, a full width, more room to breathe, and all the actions in the navigation will come up here, which is fine for now, at least. Yeah, and in the next video we'll see how to add the announcements page, announcement state details. Sorry. Thank you for sticking in. See you in the next video. Bye.